Both teams that met in the Super Bowl are winless. The Cowboys are without a quarterback, but the Seahawks might have found one. It's the NFL week number 2. What's going on out there, world? It's your boy Tommy on the spot for Watch Along Football on the Watch Along Wrestling YouTube page. It's great to see all of you guys here back for week number 2 of the NFL, where I will give you 5 picks against the spread, my best picks. Last week was a little tough, but we're not talking about last week. We're here to focus on the future. We're here to bring a little positivity now, change our luck around, and hopefully bring in a little bit of that chingle-changle. If it's your first time visiting the channel, you want to make your games a little bit more interesting, make sure you leave a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. If it's not your first time, wondering what some football picks might be doing on a wrestling channel, don't worry, I've got a lot more wrestling content coming your way, including some really fun wrestling vlogs in the upcoming weeks. All right, so let's get into this NFL week number 2 here. I think that a lot of people are really excited about this week, whether your team won last week kind of out of nowhere, like the New York Giants, Seattle Seahawks, or your team laid a big egg, like the Green Bay Packers or the Tennessee Titans. I think this is the week that you really are excited because you want your teams to prove that last week wasn't a fluke, and you want the teams that maybe did get beat up to turn things around here in a quick and easy way. So navigating this week is a little bit challenging because we're still early in the season. Remember, as I always said, play with your head and not with your heart here. If you do end up losing, that's okay. Just come back and play again for next week. No reason to take yourself out of the fight so early. Live to play another day. Know when to walk away. Remember that. That's fun, isn't it? I didn't even mean to rhyme that. All right, so here we go. Top 5 picks against the spread. I'm starting in San Francisco. San Francisco is a big favorite in this one, -9 points over the Seattle Seahawks. This is a division game. First and foremost, I will let you guys know now, if there's a big favorite, I'm going to always look to see if I can go the other way against him. And this is a team that I'm going to do that with. 9 points is way too many for the San Francisco 49ers. I don't believe in the quarterback yet at all. I think they looked real bad last week. They lost to the Bears. The Bears beat them. I mean, the Bears aren't beating anyone else this year, and they beat the Niners last week. So I think that it's going to be trouble brewing for Trey Lance if he doesn't turn things around here quick. So I understand the number. I also understand the idea that, hey, maybe the Seahawks are coming off of what was their Super Bowl last week, beating the returning Russell Wilson in their building. They don't have the 12th man there cheering Geno Smith on. But here's the thing. I think the Seahawks really do believe in Geno Smith. I think they're really into this resurrection story. And Geno wasn't great in the second half last week. He really wasn't. But I think everyone's kind of buying into this idea that they can move on and do well without Russell Wilson. I certainly think Pete Carroll feels that way. I think the Seahawks keep this close. I wouldn't be surprised if they get the win. I think if they do get the win, I think you're going to be seeing Jimmy G back under center for week number 3. I'm taking the Seahawks, my first pick, +9 at San Francisco. Moving right along, another team that I'm taking on the road here is the Washington Commanders. Commanders got us a win last week. I'm continuing to ride them. Listen, I understand it's been a long time since the Lions have been favored, and they are favored in this one, -1.5. But I think their performance last week, where they were able to keep things so close against the Eagles, was more indicative of the Eagles being a little overrated. And I will say, I did not love Jalen Hurts coming into this season, but he's looking really good. The guy was replaced a couple times in college, so I'm not 100% sure I was ready to buy in, but he's looking really good. He won them that game last week for sure, and it was really close, but I just don't think the Eagles are as good as people think they are, and I think that the Commanders are a lot better than people think they are. I've been on them all year. On the offseason, I told you guys that I think they're going to win the division. I think that they're going to be a little disrespected that for the first time in so long now the Lions are favored. And I think they come in here and they're going to get out of here with a win. I know that's tough for Lions fans. I know Lions fans are really pumped up about this year. I think they're excited for tomorrow's game. They're ready for the new coach to come in, welcome the team in there. But I don't see it. I really don't. I'm going to go with the Washington Commanders to get the big win here. And move on to 2-0. I like Carson Wentz a lot with Ron Rivera, and I think the Commanders continue to roll. A lot of really talented players on that team. All right, moving right along here. I know this is going to be an unpopular pick. I'm going to go with the home underdog Pittsburgh Steelers +2.5. Listen, I know that TJ Watt, they're hosting the New England Patriots. I know that TJ Watt is not going to play. I know that Najee Harris is banged up, probably won't play. So they're coming from a spot here where it's going to get a little bit difficult for them, but I think that they're going to also feel disrespected. I do think teams pay attention when you do see things like underdog spreads or favorite spreads, everything to that extent, and I do expect that they're going to feel some disrespect about being home dogs here to the New England Patriots. I am also not a Mac Jones guy. I know that Bill Belichick historically plays very well against Pittsburgh, and I don't think the Patriots have started 0-2 in a very long time, but I actually think it's over for them. I really do, and maybe this will blow up in my face. Pats go right back to the playoffs. I don't think Mac Jones is the guy. I'm not sold on him. I wasn't sold on him last year. I think he was able to get some things done because the league hadn't caught up to him, but I do think they did this year. Coming into the season, I thought I picked the New England Patriots to finish last in the AFC East, and I did not forget about my New York Jets. So I am very much on board with the Steelers. I love Mitch Trubisky. He's my guy. I've been talking about him for years and years. I think he got a bad rap because he came out ahead of Patrick Mahomes in that draft. I like the Steelers here. I like what Mitch is doing. I think that they're going to have the crowd really amped up and excited. I love Pittsburgh plus 2.5. I'm getting points for Pittsburgh at home. Call it a sucker bet. I'm calling it a good bet. Steelers minus plus 2.5. Moving right along here with our fourth pick of the weekend. And I'm going to actually now for my fourth and my fifth pick, I'm going to be talking about two quarterbacks that are starting with new teams, still getting their feet wet. I'm going to go for one. I'm going to go against another one. Let's start with the one I'm going to go with. That is my main man, Matt Ryan for the Indianapolis Colts. Listen, last week was not a great game for the Colts, but fourth quarter comes, and I even said this on Twitter, fourth quarter comes, they were down big, and they came back and did get to, unfortunately, a tie situation, but Matt Ryan got them in position to win. Now they go into Jacksonville. They're favored by 3, and I absolutely love this one. I'd pick this one 10 times if I could. Jacksonville is just not good. I understand it's tough to accept this because everyone was so big on Trevor Lawrence in college. Everyone was ready for him to come to the NFL and so excited, but I just do not think they're a good football team. Certainly not yet. I think that Indy knows they got to get the win here. I think they'll be ready to get the win. I think they believe in Ryan after he came down the field and was able to bring them back last week. Again, ends in a tie because Lovie Smith decides to play for a tie, and I don't understand that at all because I think the Texans could have actually stolen that game and should have won the game if we're being honest. But I'm loving the Colts this week. Jacksonville's got to do something before I start to believe that they found their guy in Trevor Lawrence. And right now, I mean, hey, our guy here for the Jets, Zach Wilson, can't stay on the field. But I'm not feeling so miserable about missing out on Trevor Lawrence. I know it's still early, but I think the jury's still out as to whether or not this guy's the real deal. Loving the Colts this week to get the big win on the road at Jacksonville. And with my final pick here, I'm going with someone else. Last week, I chose this team to win. They ended up losing at the very last second. Almost got us the win. It is the Carolina Panthers at the New York Giants. And all of a sudden, the Giants go into last week. They don't look good at all. I'm literally getting horrifically graphic gifs from all my Giants friends at halftime, thinking the season was already over. Thinking this was the year. We're just going to send Daniel Jones out. We're going to send Saquon out, and it's another rebuild. All of a sudden, the Giants come back second half. They win that game in Tennessee and now come home for 3 straight games against the Carolina Panthers, against the Dallas Cowboys without Dak Prescott, and then against the Chicago Bears. It is not out of the realm of possibility that the New York Giants start the season 4-0 and have a legitimate team this year. And the way that starts is with an amped up MetLife Stadium. Place is going to be rocking. People are believing in Saquon. People are loving the new coach. The team is loving the new coach. And in comes Baker Mayfield and the Panthers. I think the world of Baker Mayfield. I picked the Panthers to win the division. I might have been a little excited, still too excited about that one. But that being said, I think it's going to take Baker maybe another week or two to get his feet wet. I just think the Giants are going to be ready to go on this one. You'll get the heartbreak and touchdown in the interception in the end zone. Daniel Jones is known for that. That's his trademark. He even did it last week with a big pick in the end zone. But I do think the Giants are going to be ready to go. Saquon wants to show the fans at home that last week wasn't a fluke. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm taking the Giants -2 at home. I love a little short, anything close to a pick 'em. I want to take that. 4 out of my 5 picks this week are small favorites or small underdogs. One's a big underdog. For me, I'm always looking for the point spreads that are below 3, or it's a big underdog that we could jump on. Anyway, we could leverage these lines to come up with picks that just make sense. That's what I'm trying to do for you guys. So let's break it all down for you one more time. If you did not get a chance to keep up with everything here, lots of moving parts. I get it. Hey, relax. Let's get through this here. I'm going to go this week, week number 2, NFL, my picks against the spread. Seattle Seahawks +9.5. Are you kidding me? In San Francisco for last week at San Francisco. My second pick is going to be the Washington Commanders. I'm rolling with them again, +1.5 at the Detroit Lions. Next up, home dogs, +2.5 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. This one's kind of a cross your fingers, but I am picking them. Steelers, I roll with my main man, Mitch. I take them +2.5 at home against the New England Patriots. I also take the New York Football Giants -2 over the Carolina Panthers. And rounding out the week, I'm going with the Indianapolis Colts -3 at Jacksonville. Those are the picks. Go make money. I'll catch you guys next week for the NFL Week number 3.